live. And this is going to go through on till 10. Thank you so much once again for being part of the program. Lots of conversation, lots of discussions have been going on about the land at Scots Pass. I want to welcome my brother, SIZZLA Kalongi, to the space. Morning, my brother. Good morning.
Rastafari.
Greetings. How are you doing? You know, someone else here too good though.
Blessings.
Let me turn off your mic so I can see you better. All right, there we go. All right. Thank you so much because, you know, this is a 6 o'clock show.
Honestly.
And here you are.
Greetings.
Yes.
Thanks again for having me.
Looking fresh like you've been up for about 3.
I've been up since.
There you go.
Yes, thank you.
Right, I know you have Ras Mikey in the studio. Greetings, Ras Mikey.
Yeah, blessed love.
Right. Our listeners will remember Ras Mikey as the person who called in a few weeks ago when I was talking to Stephanie Marley. You were the first person to call in to say, I want to participate in this because I have additional information. So just to put that in context. But, SIZZLA, you know, you've been here before talking about this very same issue.
With Elise Kelly.
And with me right here, talking about this very same issue.
Okay.
Talking about the Nya Bingi, the Scots Pass Tabernacle.
Certainly.
And here we are having this conversation again. At that time, the many years when you came in to talk about that, there was a lot of contention, and persons felt and said at the time that you were part of a process that was dividing the Scots Pass Nya Bingi by taking on the ancients and so on. So at that time, you had come with the ancients, and they said to us that they were with you and that you were the president. I want you to remind us of how you became a part of the Nya Bingi, but in particular at Scots Pass. What's your involvement at Scots Pass?
Rastafari. Greetings in the name of the Most High's Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile King Selassie I first. Jah Rastafari. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight shall be in the Lord the Almighty. Jah Rastafari. Now, I'm honored being here, and once again, morning, beautiful citizen of Jamaica and the whole entire world, Ethiopia, Africa. My journey in the music took me to the realm where I became more conscientious of the fact that black people needed to be liberated. As a youth in Augustown, 40 Augustown Road, doing the chores, duties being left by your parents, been doing all this, the Spirit of the Most High came over me. Hence, I started writing songs. One of my first and popular songs was No White God. From there, the journey took me straight through the cities of Jamaica. Started out in Augustown, ended up in Nannyville with Caveman. After leaving high school, I went straight into the music because I was already there with Fatis and the whole music industry, Dennis Brown, Garnet Silk, President Brown, and the list goes on respectfully. Mm-hmm. During such process, I began getting stage shows, becoming known to the citizens of Jamaica through that very popular song, Oh My God, being aired the first time by Muta Baruka. Now, having all these stage shows going on, I began entering on the White River Reggae Bash, same place here in Ocho-Rios.
Of course.
Doing stage shows in and out of Kingston. And, you know, became quite popular, known to the people. Earthquake, Ras Earthquake from Malvern, St. Elizabeth, met me at one of the stage show, and he was like, Congo man, SIZZLA Rasta man, the Rasta man them a Bingi a look for you. Bongo Daniel send me for you. And I said, Bongo Daniel, I've never met Bongo Daniel before. Anyway, I said, all right. Met Earthquake, to and from. It took a while to get there though. I might possibly about a year because I've been busy touring and all those stuff. Okay. Earthquake came to me at final again and say, Bongo man SIZZLA, Earthquake in a room. Bongo Daniel, I wait pan the eye. I'm going to say, all right, let's go check Bongo Daniel. Jumped in the Levin. I went to Scotts Pass, the first time entering Scotts Pass. Met Bongo Daniel. Pretty much exciting. Bongo Daniel say, SIZZLA, and a child shall lead the way. Send one mighty angel for his children in exile. E.L. Selassie. Met Bongo Daniel. There and then, you know, it's SIZZLA. It's Bongo Daniel. So Daniel main calling for SIZZLA was to help Daniel to develop the land being given to the Rastafari family worldwide for repatriation. But upon entering the premises, Scotts Pass, the headquarters and Rastafari and Nya Bingi theocracy, the family, well unified, loving, beautiful, ceaseless eyes, the tabernacle was intact. The first thing Daniel had showed me on the premises was the bathroom that he dug. And he said, SIZZLA, you see this drop straight bathroom? We can't have the Empress and the royal family of Selassie using this. We will need to upgrade the place. This
is Scotts Pass we're talking about.
This is Scotts Pass. My duty in going to Scotts Pass was to meet Bongo Daniel. I didn't know what it was about, but I knew it was something for redemption because that could only be the call. Now, Daniel said, we need to start developing the premises. And I said, yes. So I said to Daniel, who own the land? Daniel said, a Bob Marley land. A Rita Marley own the land. So I said, how you get the land? Daniel said, they had a Nya Bingi at Rocky Point. And upon leaving the Nya Bingi, he saw Mrs. Marley. And along with Daniel, he said it was Daniel, Dago, daughter Dunan, Mabrak, and others. Because from coming from the Nya Bingi, that's where the family is at. And he said, Bob Marley have some land up there, so you know. You can't give it peace. And Rita Marley said, yeah, go and deal with it and reason up with me. The family can attest to this. They know very well what took place. So I said, okay. So I said, where's the title? He said, Mama Rita, I go deal with it. Within myself, no one knew very well that for you to be developing somewhere, you need a title and full authorization. But known to the fact that it has already been published through the media, being given by Mrs. Marley, and the center post for the Tabernacle was also being laid with His Majesty's grandson. This is really just and truth, and it's been published, no one contested such. So there and then we started doing our Rastaman vibration, chanting, reading the Psalms, meeting the elders, and the whole family at large. And the fire blaze, cause them a burn fire upon that, cause them a say the reggae music has stray the people, them even though it's nice, and it's a child of the Nya Bingi. The artists need to be coming to the Nya Bingi Center so they can know what is happening for them best to express themselves.
So bonfire upon you?
Bingi man, bonfire upon SIZZLA. Anybody go there with bonfire upon them, just verbally, you know?
Yes. And we know the same thing was done with Nana Rita too, yes.
All right, exactly, because that's your foundation.
Right.
So persons keeping the duty of His Majesty need to know where you sit within the coach of Rastafari, administrating for the nation. So that's it. So there and then, the Nya Bingi service been going on when you have the celebrations such as Coronation Day, Black History, African Liberation Day, such for the likes. The service is ceaseless. Now, not to waste the nation's time, we've been there, everything is being accounted for by the family, but you still have a little misadministration. I began knowing about the misadministration by going to the Nya Bingi Center.
All right, we're going to pick up on the misadministration after the break. And then when you say the family, you're talking the Nya Bingi family.
Nya Bingi family.
You're inside of the Africa Forum. It is Running Africa, and my very special guest in studio, SIZZLA Kalongi, Ras Mikey. We're talking about the Scotts Pass land issue and the Nya Bingi Tabernacle at Scotts Pass. You might have heard when we were having that conversation with Stephanie Marley, that she talked about a third element in the situation that was developing at Scotts Pass. And that third element, SIZZLA, Your name was not mentioned, but we were very well aware that you would have been that element that was being referenced there. Now, you say, at this point, you noticed that there was an administration issue.
Yes.
At Scott's Pass.
Yes.
After how long, would you say?
Ever since being there, the misadministration of the Nya Bingi house is even before SIZZLA enter the premises, before meeting anyone of the family on the premises. I've met the family out elsewhere, but on the grounds for the Nya Bingi is totally different.
Who is Bongo Daniel, before you tell us about the misadministration?
Bongo Daniel is Mr. Vincent Record.
Right.
Bongo Daniel is the person sent to get SIZZLA and started SIZZLA with the development of Scott's Pass. Bongo Daniel's words started the construction for Scott's Pass with SIZZLA.
So we're talking about an ancient Bongo. So that's so people understand who is
person who had asked Rita Marley for the land. Right. Now, the misadministration was even before SIZZLA entering the Bingi premises. I've learned these misconduct and misadministration through the minutes. You want to follow the Nya Bingi, you don't just go out on the road and listen people saying this and saying that. Yes, listen, but when you follow the minutes, that's for the record of the family. So you have misadministration with the Treasury, misadministration with the Elector of Record, and the list goes on.
How did you come to see the minutes to get all of this information?
Based on the principle of the Nya Bingi, you have general meeting every first and third Sunday. So SIZZLA would do his stage show, go on tour, do everything, and get back for the first and third Sundays for meetings.
So by this time, I know that you're going to get to the misadministration, but just for clarity.
Yes.
So by this time, you would have, on the call of Bongo Daniel, you would have now become a member of the Nya Bingi family.
No. Personally, with honesty and just with SIZZLA, Bongo Daniel calling SIZZLA is not just for you to enter and be a part of the Nya Bingi family. For you to be a part of the Nya Bingi family, you're already being born as a black man or a black woman. You're already a part. But knowing the principles and keeping the principles and the precept of the Nya Bingi house, that's where I would say you would have been a part of the family. Because a foundation for the Most High to stand upright needed to start on spiritual grounds, conscious spiritual grounds. So as we go ahead, you can't be doing something for the Most High and you don't know what you're doing. So I started following the minutes to know where they are, where I'm at. SIZZLA just came in the world 1976. So I need to read a lot and catch up, which is Majesty's duty. So there and then. So I began understanding the whole entire procession of the Nya Bingi and the family and the way forward for repatriation. So I said, okay, now I understand the chant, the creed, and see that it's connected. And based upon my journey in the music, singing for black people for repatriation, I said, okay, I understand very well what's happening. So I need to do all these things to make the family comfortable so that can best administrate for repatriation concerning Rastafari government, Nya Bingi theocracy, and all the mansions and the Jamaica government. Now, being there, in and out, little bickering, but Rastafari still says love, no violence, it's non-violent. So there was the storm. Ivan came. The tabernacle was intact, but it was still with a little, it's going with the nature of erosion. So there came the storm. Ivan blew down the tabernacle. Service was still going on, but because of the destruction of the tabernacle, we bought a tarpaulin, covered the tabernacle roof. Again, it's been exposed to the nature, the natural elements. So now it's there going down, deteriorating until there was nothing left except the center post. And persons stopped coming to the tabernacle grounds. Then they've neglected the tabernacle grounds for years and call it crash pass. No one comes to the foundation except really concerned persons from the family and persons knowing that this was the headquarters. So
Ivan was in 2004, and you're saying...
For the record, yeah.
Right, and so after that, you're saying that the people stopped coming to the tabernacle, even though...
It was raised to the ground. Persons began going to Pitford, Pinnacle, and anywhere else, Rastafari families worldwide. So then I said, after years, no one coming there, the family began giving a complaint that this is headquarters, this is central, we can just come from Kingston and reach here, come from Westmoreland and reach here. So we need to get it up. So I said, okay, I called Bongo Daniel's attention to it again and say, the promise I gave you to develop the foundation for His Majesty and the family, I'll now start seeing to the fact that no one is coming here, especially administrators, they've neglected this ground and this is the headquarters. So I said, all right. I start going on tour, start doing stuff. I call Bongo Mikey. And I said,
Rastafari.
This is Mikey.
This is Michael record. Bongo
Mikey.
So, yeah.
Greetings
So
again.
Bingi Mikey.
Right.
Yeah, man.
And then at the same time, too, as an aside, you are the son of
Bongo Daniel.
Bongo Daniel, the same Bongo Daniel.
Yes.
Yes.
One Bongo Daniel.
Yes.
So I said, Bingi Mikey, Daniel say, we're ready to fix the tabernacle now and me have a little money now, you know? All right. So I said, what we're going to do, we have to call a meeting. So Bongo Daniel and the elders, they got together and they made the decision, say, yes, we're going to touch the tabernacle now. Because spiritually, I knew very well not to touch the tabernacle unless the family is there, because this is for the family. You want to build a tabernacle with the center post and the 12 outer posts, with the 6-point star in the center for the 7 high priests to be around it based upon revelation and all those stuff. So I said, all right, we're going to start building tabernacle, Mikey.
Yeah.
We say we need to get some more money. Mikey and SIZZLA and Daniel, we are meditating. I say, oh, we are get money. We say, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to keep a stage show, because the nation uses a very well the stage show, and the stage show is the legal entity to bring the finance. I myself and Bingi Mikey meditated, and I said, Bingi Mikey, go and get the permission to keep the stage show. No one knew about this part now except for Daniel, Mikey, and SIZZLA. Anyone else, they'll know for the record. So Bingi Mikey went up to Porus, and he went and he got in touch with the inspector, and he laid the report from the foundation that we would like to keep a show. SIZZLA would like to keep a show for the benefit of constructing the tabernacle based on the destruction from the storm. The inspector gave us the permission, and we hurriedly and got the venue across, just a little bit down from the station, which is the school ground.
School ground, yeah.
That is in Clarendon.
That is in Porus, yeah.
Porus.
So then now,
in Manchester.
the school ground, a very beautiful play field, and the concerned citizens and persons in custody of the premises say, we have to be careful about this is where the community, they use it for the sporting. So we don't want to destroy the grass. So we say, okay, we'll bring the stuff around.
Around, yeah.
But the persons can stand on the grass, but not the truck and the stage. And we did it very well. We kept the stage show with the authority of the inspector. And them say, tell the inspector, say, Bongo Daniel, black boy Daniel.
Yeah.
And everybody knew Daniel. And we say, all right. And the inspector knew Daniel very well. We went ahead.
Inspector Cespedes for the record.
For the record. So we went ahead. We kept the stage show. We grew with the sum of $200,000.
And at them time, then.
Yeah. That was like enough money.
Enough money that I wanted.
We said, no, all right, Mikey, we got $200,000. It was well supported by the officers, by the community, in Scotts Pass, Porus, young kids, everyone supported it. And we got $200,000. I said, we're going to buy 12 light posts. I bought 12 light posts, and I left them on the premises of the Nya Bingi Center, Scotts Pass. I went on tour. When I got back, it was only 1 light post left.
Some of them really ratting out on them because them never really, you know.
Yeah, but, you know, so we say, all right, Bongo Daniel, they stole some. That's the main thing. You shouldn't have taken anything. Yeah.
And obviously you don't know who stole.
No.
But some was stolen.
Yeah. So I said, okay, Bongo Daniel, what's happening now? I left the light post and I went on tour. You know, despite I went on tour, the light post couldn't have been rotten by the time I got back. So I said, all right, Bongo Daniel said, put it in a concrete, then can't move it. Right. So that is how I ended up doing all that construction. This was way before going to Bobo Hill. No Bobo Shanty, Upper Bobo Hill, no SIZZLA. So we started the construction.
You're talking about 2004, 2005, right? Yes or no?
Yeah,
about 4 or 5, right after.
So we started that now. We started building the tabernacle. There was a pit. And Daniel said they picked had been dug for about 20 years. Well, me and Mikey, we do dub plate and stage show, and we bought some train lines and some stuff, and we covered the pit. I began the construction of the bathroom, 2 bathrooms for the lioness and the lions, and no perfect bathroom. I started the construction of the office. Mr. Rose helped me. He was the architect, and Mr. Rose was the teacher for SIZZLA at IRIE doing the architectural studies. So I said, the best person to do this is Mr. Rose. So Mr. Rose now started getting his other friends in the industry of the construction, and we ended up constructed the Tabernacle. We ended up buying all the irons. We ended up buying the roof, and Mr. Rose get the persons to do the roof, and they had Bud Spencer and Michael Record can give you the record for all those.
Actually work.
Yeah. So there and then the works continue. I've been doing all this before even they called SIZZLA the treasurer. Before everything, I've been doing this without any title, anything, because it was a promise to Daniel and His Majesty to
Rasta family. Yeah.
So the interests of being someone in the office administrating wasn't on my count or call. My duty was solely to build the Tabernacle ground.
And then to underscore, because you pointed out that by this time the Tabernacle, the area was more or less abandoned. That people had left.
When I say abandoned, I mean animals began defecating on the ground beneath the roof, because it's to that level for years. Yes.
All right. So the daughters' quarters, the bathrooms, all of that building under the
no, the lioness quarters and the daughters' quarters and the kitchen, they were already there. Yeah. Right.
All right. So you built
the Tabernacle, the bathroom, the office, put up the gate and stuff, and we began taking care of the land.
At what point did you move from being called by Ras Daniel, doing the work after it was abandoned, to now being, as the ancients who came in with you a few years ago, the president?
That was after keeping the banquet, helping the elders. Every celebration, SIZZLA would provide finance to get the fire timber, to get the food, to fulfill the prescriptions for the elders, taking them to the doctor, the priest, just about anyone in the Bingi family, but mainly the priest and the elders, the ancient council. Yeah. And concerning anything domestically, to get them home, to get them back. Not only SIZZLA, you have the families helping out, other families helping out, but SIZZLA now, as the main thing for Daniel was that you have the money, you are the artist, you can get money quick, you don't need none for thief, and you are do the thing. So because of all that, I figure very well they handed over the Treasury Department to SIZZLA based on the fact that I'm the person developing the land. And now Daniel said to me, Daniel sent Junior Negos saying, SIZZLA, Mrs. Marley would like to have a meeting with you. And I said, okay, soon go check mama. May I do all the palico thing. It was there, it run off until about the next 2 months or a month. Junior Negos came again and said, SIZZLA, Daniel is waiting for you to have a meeting with Mrs. Marley, because she'll be going on tour very soon. I said, okay, no problem. I went with Bongo Daniel, myself, Junior Negos, to see Mrs. Marley. Bongo Daniel was adamant about not taking Junior Negos because for some reason he just didn't trust Junior Negos. That's Bongo Daniel.
Yeah,
right. Anyway, we went in, saw Mrs. Marley.
At 56 Upward, right?
At the museum, yes. We saw Mrs. Marley in her office.
Yeah.
Then we sat, Mrs. Marley, we greeted Mrs. Marley. Mrs. Marley said, SIZZLA morning, and everything for the likes and respect. So she said to me now, I would like to cut off the Bingi land. And I said, okay, cut it off in the name of the church, Nya Bingi Theocracy. She said, no, I'm going to cut off the land in your name, Miguel Collins, known to the fact that you're developing the land. And I said, okay, if it please thee, let it be.
So this was about when? What year would you say this would have been?
For the record, I'm not remembering well.
But this is after you'd have built up
This is after Mrs. Marley came to the premises and saw the construction. And I heard that she asked, who is doing it? And they told her, SIZZLA. So I figure very well, this is why SIZZLA got the call.
And I noticed that also, SIZZLA, that you have been tweeting, well, at least on your social media, you have been writing about this meeting.
Yes.
And I think this meeting is critical because here we go now. It shed some light on what was in Nana Rita Marley's head also about land and the land ownership at this point. She was very clear, it would seem to me, that the land was still hers, that it was not cut off yet, that is not placed in anybody's name.
Exactly.
Because of what she said to you.
Yes.
She said to you that now she was ready to cut it off.
Yes.
And to put it in your name.
Yes.
What happened then?
Okay. After leaving Mrs. Marley's office, we went back on the road, Rastafari vibration, get some refreshment for Danny. We went back to Augustown. Daniel was pretty excited. So I said, okay. After going back to the Nya Bingi premises, the family began asking now, SIZZLA, what Mama Marley said? And she said she's going to cut off the land in my name. And from then, persons hearing, some got happy, some got vexed. And from there and then, you got the uproar, people saying stuff, and the list goes on.
Oh, so this is where the conflict
That's
began
just
for you.
One of the entity causing, seemingly, what they're saying is causing the conflict. That is one. The other one was SIZZLA is the person to develop the land, called by Daniel. I'm going to spend my own money to do stuff. But in doing so, I'm very conscientious of the fact that based on the minutes of the Nya Bingi meetings, there are discrepancies about monies coming in and going out, the treasury and stuff like that, Misadministration, people sending stuff for the family, they can't get it. So I said, how can I leave my money with someone when I'm not here? Hence, SIZZLA ended up have to spend his own money, be on the premises, and do the work for himself. And the most trusted person for me then was Michael Record, because he's the son of Bongo Daniel Vincent Record, who had wanted to develop the premises. So Michael Record should see to it that the duty of his father is being manifested.
That, of course, is you, as Mike, is sitting right here.
Right.
So what did your work entail?
Accountability.
Come closer to the microphone.
Accountability.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Meaning?
Meaning money that I get from SIZZLA, I make sure it's spent. Touchable.
Where it should go.
Yeah. Not only SIZZLA, from anyone. So when you say accountability, transparency, Morgirai, always say tangible, we need to see what's going in and coming out of the Bingi family. And there wasn't any transparency concerning such. So when I say accountability, that's another thing that brought some sort of vibe against SIZZLA again. And families started saying stuff that persons got this for the family and didn't hand it over and all the like. So then I have to take up matters in my own hand to do all these stuff. So while being on tour, I would be at the Bingi Center, live at the Bingi Center, do everything at the Bingi Center, leave Bingi Center, go on tour, come from tour, dear Bingi Center, and that's just it.
At some point, so here you have Miss Nana Rita saying to you, I'm going to cut this land off where the Tabernacle is. That was at 5 acres, right?
That was the portion that she had already bordered around with a fence.
Right. So that's all like the 5 acres, right?
Right.
Yeah.
What happened? Didn't she cut that off in your name? Because now we know that the land is reclaimed.
That is where we're at right now. So after hearing the interview on the radio with you, Miss Stephanie, and Michael Record, I said the land is being taken back. So is Mama Rita going back on the promise given to the Bingi family before SIZZLA came in the picture, and also that she had already spoken to SIZZLA that she's going to cut off the land. So I've been there waiting. Now, persons been saying anything for Rastafari, we need it with title, yes. But if you have misadministration and all these stuff concerning the family, who could Mrs. Marley have trust to cut the land in their name? Because persons, I think very well, wanted to take the land from the Rastafari family. And that's just the old cycle going through.
You're saying that there was that thing. I hear you laughing, Ras Mike. You're saying that there was that thinking, that there was no necessarily to trust, no trust in the system.
Exactly.
In the family, I'll put it that way. So you ask your question after hearing that the land has been reclaimed by Nana Rita and the Marley family. You're saying that you're asking whether or not she's going back on her word, but at the same time you're saying you're understanding it?
So naturally what I'm saying is that based on Stephanie's words on the media to the public that the land is being taken back, I'm saying to myself, is it that Mrs. Marley went back on the promise of handing over the land to the Rastafari family, and also the promise that she had promised me that she would get me the land for the Bingi family. So
right. Why didn't she get you the land? Why wasn't it put in your name? What happened?
That's on her account. I don't know why. It might be because she's a busy person touring or business. But it was on her account to do such. It's in her authority.
But you weren't against that at all?
No, because the words of the ancient are well valued. And Mrs. Marley is an ancient mother for us. Yeah. So we are there doing stuff, and people saying Rastafari family rich millionaires, they're not doing anything for Rasta. So when I being blessed and whose person's lot it was falling, that I should be the person to take this land for Rastafari, I can't deny that. I'd have to accept. And I said yes. Have
you reached out to Stephanie, to any of the Marley family, to Nana, to anyone, to...
Well, based on the fact that she's a bit ill, I can't have any dialogue with her, so I've reached out to Mr. Stephen Marley concerning the matter after hearing all this. And Stephen's words to SIZZLA was, Dada, Mama is a bit sick. When Mama get much better, then we'll have a conversation with her and I'll get back to you. And I left it right there until now. I'm here.
All right, we're back with you inside of the Africa Forum. It is Running Africa, and my very special guest in studio, SIZZLA Kalongi, Ras Mikey, and we're talking about the land issue as it relates to Scott's Pass, Nya Bingi Tabernacle in Clarendon. Interesting information coming out. We're learning from SIZZLA that Nana Rita Marley had summoned him to a meeting at which he was told that she wanted to transfer the land at Scott's Pass to his name. SIZZLA, would this be on behalf of the Nya Bingi in your name?
Yes, everything.
As you say,
Nya
for the
Bingi
record.
Is the total head for such.
Right. You talked also, SIZZLA, about the work done on the Tabernacle itself, and also the other buildings.
Yes.
Was anything else done there? Because I'm recalling that when I spoke with Stephanie, she said one of the things that her mother wanted to see happening there was also what was done with the land. How was the land used, farming, etc.? Was anything like that done, or was it just a concentration on the building itself?
Naturally, yes. The Rastafari family, over the years, Rastafari are farmers. So the trees there, the fruit trees and all those stuff were planted by the families. I personally bought trees and started planting. Michael Record can give you a much clarity on that.
Michael?
Yeah, for the record, yeah.
Tell us about the farming that took place there. How was the land kept?
Touchable. The land been cut over the years. It clean. Yeah.
And the farming?
Well,
what was grown there?
Well, naturally still, say...
Coconut
peas, tree.
Just about anything that can be produced on the land and anything that the Rastafari family brought there to be planted.
So what's your thought then on what Stephanie said when she pointed out that part of the issue was also how the land was dealt with?
Well, the underdevelopment of the land is based on their family not having the title and the misadministration of the Nya Bingi funds and things going in and out for the Nya Bingi family, there couldn't have been any construction on the land properly because persons getting money for the Bingi family not handing over the money to the family, touchable. Mm-hmm. So the land was best kept with SIZZLA. Brought the land more, for every celebration, the land is being kept. With celebration or without celebration. The land was being kept in a proper manner because you got little children coming here, visitors, and as soon as the grass began growing, Bongo Rambo, Mugirai, Daniel, Ives, persons who are caretakers on the land, living there, taking care of the land. The land can't be just vacant with no one there. Those persons would have called SIZZLA and said, SIZZLA, celebration coming up, we need to get the land prepared. And June and Negos was always there, up and down with the truck to get a fire timber. So the land was well taken care of. So I will not stand for them to drag Mrs. Marley's name through the public in a bad sense concerning the land. The land was owned by Mrs. Marley, and the best person to keep the land was Mrs. Marley. It's her land. It was already being owned by someone with responsible duty. It was just now the time the Rastafari family needed to advance more concerning repatriation, persons going home. We need to develop the land. So there.
But as Ivi says, the land was given to the Nya Bingi. You're saying that the land is Nana Rita Marley's land.
Yes, it's still in the name of Rita's. You know, the land was given to the Rastafari family based on Daniel, Data, Dunan, Dago, Mabrak, and all those persons ask her, and it is in the public.
Well, Stephanie says it was permission to use, not a gift.
Then why would the king's grandson and Rita Marley plan the center post? Why would you give Rastafari something and take it back? I don't believe such.
So your understanding is that this was a gift to Nya Bingi?
Yes, and that is the reason why Mama Rita herself called me to the meeting to hand over this land so the Rastafari family can do what they want to do concerning repatriation. So I don't believe, honestly, personally, as SIZZLA, I don't believe that the land is being taken back. I'm still waiting on Stephen Marley to get to SIZZLA concerning Mama's health, so I can ask her about the handing over of the land for the Nya Bingi family.
So let me be clear. You have said that you do not believe that the land is being reclaimed by Nana Rita.
No. Because she had promised me to hand over the land in my name for the Nya Bingi family, and she got sick. And I've called Stephen Marley concerning the matter, and Stephen said, Dada, Mama's sick. When Mama get better, me talk to Mama and then me talk back to you. And I said, okay. And I'm still waiting on Stephen's words to be fulfilled up until now. So I will not allow them to drag Mrs. Marley's name through the gutter and having the Rastafari family bashing against Mrs. Marley when she had called me and said, son, you are one of the son.
But this is one of the things that her daughter spoke to Stephanie in terms of what's happening. You talk about a bonfire, her name being dragged in the mud. All that is being said about her without any kind of a pushback from the community to say, stop it. She says that Nana Rita is distressed about that.
Like I said before, for the record, I've called the son, Stephen Marley, and he said, Dada, Mama sick. When Mama get better, me tell Mama, and Mama will give us the directive. So I'm still waiting on Mr. Stephen Marley.
SIZZLA, was there a time when you stopped going there?
No. When I'm not there is when I'm back in Kingston for domestic work or to go on tour. At once, all right, for the record, Daniel's wife, Ma Punsi, she went away. Ma Punsi said, SIZZLA, you did a long time I help out the Bingi family. We are going to send money, come give Mikey, and you make it up and build the house. That is the house behind Daniel's house.
What them call White House now.
So that house was being built by Ma Punsi, Daniel's wife, because Daniel's first house at the front right there, the red, gold and green house, is being raised down to the ground, being, based upon the elements and nature. So there and then, SIZZLA is not the only person who are developing the land. Other persons are there developing the land. There was a building built for Marshanti on the land also. So we began developing the land, and persons began saying, so many millionaire Rasta in a Rastafari world and reggae music and Bingi, why they can't help SIZZLA to complete the office? So there and then now, the office had been on a pause based upon, SIZZLA burning the fire and not having access to certain motherland country with the money. So that is where it's at until now.
One of the things that a lot of people talk about, SIZZLA, is you having control of a seal, you being there as a leader when you shouldn't be. This is just citing what people have said. What is your response in this honest and truthful space this morning?
Well, it is a person's responsibility to safeguard what has been entrusted to that person. Now, concerning the seal, I'm an artist. I knew about the contracts, doing business. Going to this Bingi Center, I asked Daniel, is the church registered? Daniel said, no, Rastaman Church must not be registered to Babylon. No secondary government outside the continent of Africa. Anywhere His Majesty's name is not being called or being mentioned, you should not be a part of it. So I said, okay, nice. So from then I said, is there a seal for the Bingi house? Daniel said, yes, but this seal wasn't authorized by the house to be constructed. Bongo IRIE Irons went behind the family's back and constructed a seal. And I said, okay. At this time, no one knew about the seal. Even though the seal had been constructed, it wasn't in the priest position.
It wasn't being used?
Being used, but the family don't know what's happening. So there and then I said, so where's the seal? He said, Jajayan have the seal. Someone say, I'm not Jajayan, sorry. Bongo IRIE Iron has the seal. So I said, we're going to look for Bongo IRIE Iron. I myself and Bingi Mikey went up to Bagwak and looked for Bongo IRIE Iron and said, Bongo IRIE Iron, what about the seal for the Bingi family?
That is years ago,
Years.
Yeah.
Bongo IRIE Iron went inside, went for the seal, brought back the seal, and gave me the seal. And I took the seal from Bongo IRIE Iron. No one knew nothing about this. And I took the seal, me and Bingi Mikey, and went back to Nya Bingi Scotch Pass and give the priest, Bongo Time, the seal. And gave Daniel the seal and the elders. And they said, what? Long we not see this? Years. Some ancient began saying, we don't even know if the seal did exist. And I said, what? I left the seal with the priest and Bongo Daniel. Bongo Daniel and the priest and other ancients said, do not give it back to IRIE Iron. We don't know what they're doing with it. And furthermore, is the priest should have had the seal. I said, something, known to the fact that Bongo IRIE Iron constructed the seal, in whatsoever sense, I'll take it back to
him.
Right?
Yeah.
And Bongo IRIE Irons did give you the seal without any. Right.
So I went back and gave Bongo IRIE Iron the seal. And Daniel said, why did you give her the seal? I say, because you said, is Bongo IRIE Iron made the seal? And I said, all right, I gave back Bongo IRIE and the seal because I know what's happening. Years now going, they don't know where the seal is. So persons began saying the seal is by Sassy, the seal is by Bongo Ken, the Bongo Tanya has the seal. And we said, but you are the elders, you should be laying out the foundation that the priest, based upon the Bingi principle, the priest and the guideline, the priest should have the seal. Anyway, I said to Junior Nigos, find where the seal is at and bring back the seal to the priest. We're on the road up and down doing stage shows and everything, looking the money to do what domestically. At once, there was some celebration coming up for the family and His Majesty. I sat to the south side of the Tabernacle, close to this tank, square tank Daniel built. And then I saw Junior Nigos coming to me and saying, King, the priest says he doesn't want anything to do with the seal because they took the seal about 3 months now and he doesn't know what they're doing with it. I don't want to have anything to do with the seal. So I said, how could the priest not wanting to keep the seal of the Most High? I said to Junior Nigos, go and get me the seal. June and they just didn't even know that I've been tracking the seal with the ancient. Way before, years before. So Junior went and the priest gave Junior the seal, saying he doesn't want to keep the seal. I said, I'll keep the seal. I am the treasurer. And the seal is part and parcel of the treasury. It's my duty. I'll keep the seal. Okay. When the meeting started in the tabernacle, I took the seal and raised the seal above my head in the tabernacle and say, Rastafari, Nya Bingi, do investigate the matter why the priest would not want to keep the seal. And from there and then, and another thing broke out again. So person starts saying, yes, you've been doing this and doing that with the seal and rare. And, you know, so we say, all right. We called the priests into the tabernacle now, and the family began administrating for themselves. Persons investigating what's happening with the seal, why you don't want to keep the seal. Well, the family knew very well what's happening, and those persons who been with the seal, they knew very well what they did with the seal. Now the seal is in my custody. Nothing can really go wrong now. So I said, the seal, I'll keep the seal. For the respect, Father Bonnie Wheeler said, SIZZLA, do not give them back the seal. And orders and directives began coming to me. Do not give them back the seal.
So who was claiming the seal now? I mean, you don't have to call names, but
the person who had told Miss Stephanie that she should evict the persons off the land was the same person having this discrepancy about the seal.
So as far as you are concerned, well, and we're here, you're laying it out. You're saying that really and truly, at the end of the day, the elder, the ancient, didn't want to keep the seal. You had taken it once and returned it.
Yeah,
sorry, say that again, what's my
Good, continue, we'll get there.
All right, so the question then is, in the public domain, in the public sphere, one of the things that we're hearing over and over and over again is that SIZZLA take the Bingi seal, have it in our case, and there's also a threat that you have threatened persons that they should go to a spot to take it out if they dare. So all of this...
No, that's a lie. And there was no threat. That's a lie. And speak the truth, cast it what it will. Whosoever hide and do the wrong will continue to do the wrong still. Now, I told persons that the seal will be in my safe. That's a government safe, that the government knew what safe that is. And persons began going around saying, yeah, him say, him rare, safe. And I said, sure. So that same person had called police on me, saying that I'm hiding stuff on the premises. That same person called the police and SIZZLA. All right, saying this and that. The police came, the soldier came and did their investigation and said nothing like that. And, you know, but there was a little verbal confrontation with that person and Michael Record based on that person had left the Bingi house, gave them their resignation, and they came back now. After they left, they came back seeing the beautiful buildings going up, and they started fighting against SIZZLA. What?
What?
So there and then now, that person got into a verbal confrontation with Michael Record. They called Mr. Record some foul word. Mr. Michael Record responded with other words, causing this person now to get the police. The police came and said, that's a lie. SIZZLA not doing all those stuff. What did you say to Mr. Record for Mr. Record to be responding in such bad manner?
But SIZZLA, do you understand that basically some of what you're laying out here would be what Stephanie's referencing when she said there are lots of stuff happening there that her mother was not comfortable with.
Exactly. Hence, I think that is what hindered the land to be handed over to the family, based on misadministration and mistrust. So we'll continue. So then now, when the officer asked the question, why you said this to the gentleman, the person's wife responded before the person, and the officer said to the person, you know that you are, and you should leave the Bingi premises. So the person who had called Stephanie Marley to evict the person, that person wasn't the person asking for the land. The person is giving directive to evict the Rastafari family off the land. They are the person who had asked Mrs. Marley for the land. So that's very disrespectful. And you have that person did not even lift a 6-inch block or do anything concerning the construction of their own tabernacle. So these are the stuff.
All right, I don't understand. One of the things that I just want to be careful about, and I know we're not calling names, but we have said enough so people will begin to point fingers, and we do not want that. So as much as possible, let's not try to slander. It's important. All right, so here is another thing. So people were living there now, right? Who are those persons who were supposed to be living on the land? And at some point, did we have more persons living on the land who should not have been there? What was the
First of all, there wasn't anyone that had been living on the land that you should be like getting them off the land. Everyone that's on the land, they're okay. They're the caretakers. They've been there even before SIZZLA.
How many persons were living on the land, Ras Mikey?
Mikey.
For the record, 8
Could you come closer?
8 to 9 persons. For the record. But people come and go. You know, it says a Nya Bingi center. So you know, so people we always visit and stay over for a couple of days and them look at thing there.
There was never any problem.
But there wasn't any problem.
There wasn't any card.
There wasn't any problem. For my record.
Right. So about 8 or 9 persons living permanently on the land.
Yeah.
Right. And these are ancients?
Yeah.
Ancient elders
and youths.
These are the persons who they've been taking care of the land. Mm-hmm. When we're not there, I could always make a phone call and get Bongo, Rambo or Mogirai, or, you know.
And what I'm leading to is that, you know, in the interview with Stephanie, she spoke about persons living on the land, and she did spoke about, persons are being evicted right now, but she did say also that she was told that these people did not necessarily belong to the Nya Bingi. In other words, these are not our people. So who are these people? Who are these people?
These are people from the Nya Bingi family.
Making recommendations.
Because persons, all right, the same principle of persons living on the Scotch Pass premises is the same persons and same principle for Pit 4. Why didn't you go to Pit 4 and give an eviction notice to the owners of those land? Persons are there. So this is just an outright attack on Rastafari family based on the fact that persons had been authorized to be elect of records and such, and they're not doing their work. They're not presenting stuff given to the Nya Bingi family. So that is why now it's a can of worm being opened. People are being exposed. And hearing that now, this person had called Miss Stephanie and gave the directive to evict these elders of the land, show very well who this person is and their motive.
So what are you saying, SIZZLA? So-called administrators?
Exactly.
Okay, I get you. Okay.
Where are those people now who are living on the land?
They're not theirs. Ever since the eviction notice, they had left.
Do you know, are you in touch with any of them, Ras Mikey? Because I know you yourself were living on the land on and off. What is your particular situation now? Because I know you also were very much involved, and I've had many conversations with you over that period in seeing how you could have the courts address this, right? You engaged a lawyer. Talk to us about that.
Wow.
Well, for
the record, it's when me see a eviction notice come to me from the Marley family after response, you know, totally. It would be like a disrespect, you understand me? So
you had got the eviction notice. You brought the eviction notice to me. I read the eviction notice and seeing where they're addressing the Rastafari families as squatters. And the eviction notice, and I said, okay, we got to get the matter going. So I began getting some monies and gave the money to Michael Record to pay for the court case, for the case in the court with the lawyer Nana
Barron.
Yes, so
and she came. We have also discussed this with her.
Okay.
Stephanie says that she wants one thing to be made very clear. She said that when you're online, I think, it wasn't the Marley family who called the brethren on the land squatters, that this was your own lawyer who decided that that was the defense that she was going to use, that the people on the land, the brethren on the land, had squatters' right?
Well, personally, for the record, my memory serves me right, the word squatter was being used in the eviction notice. I think, yes. That is where we got that thing from, the eviction notice. But there and then is one love, is one Rastafari, is one family. We don't need to do all this. Persons are being exposed and they're trying to shift their attention from their very own self to SIZZLA. But that is why I'm here. So concerning the seal, I need to clear it up. So the last directive from the Ancient Council, another problem for these persons trying to overthrow Rastafari is that general meeting is for first and third Sunday. Whenever time you have the service going, person would want to stop the service to go and just keep meeting. So I said, you know something, and the elders are the vanguards. They have the first and the last say. They have no say in such matters. So I said, you know something, Mikey, let us put the Ancient Council for the third Sunday. So there and then, the Ancient Council began meeting on the third Sunday, and there couldn't be any more Ancient Council unless SIZZLA say third Sunday and we meet on the third Sunday. So the elders began getting back their powers now, seated to discuss matters, because this is one thing that deteriorates the Nya Bingi administration. It is the Nya Bingi theocracy reign, but you have persons forming the administrative council and they want to form the Millennium Council. And these other entities goes out, represent Nya Bingi, collected everything, but it doesn't hand over anything to the Nya Bingi theocracy reign. And that is the big problem. Everyone is being exposed until you have a visitor, a very known rapper came to Jamaica, handed over some money to a person saying they're representing the Bingi House and bought a bus. And the money and the bus is still not being handed over to the Bingi Center.
All right, so here we're talking about Snoop Dogg. This is in the news. This is public, in the public domain, so we can name him. So Snoop Dogg came in, and you're saying that he handed over monies. And as a treasurer, you're saying this?
I'm the treasurer, and there's no account of collecting any money or any gift, part or parcel from such entertainer. So when the
you
question,
only heard that he handed over money?
Right. When the question was being asked, where is the money from such person? Persons responded in the sense of saying, the Nya Bingi House owes a lot of money and have a lot of bills. There and then I'm like, wait, what bill? The family said, what bill? Show us the receipt, because I knew very well that SIZZLA Kalongi gave my uncle Record the money to pay for the water bill and to pay for all the bills, everything. I personally, is my personal money, did that. None of those monies given by those persons didn't go to the Nya Bingi, because I am the treasurer. And I also have the custody of the bank account. The bank account is dormant. Nothing was in the Nya Bingi theocracy reign bank account. I activated that bank account by putting my money in the account up until today, after being given the office of treasury. So these are the things persons using to say that SIZZLA is dividing the family. SIZZLA unites the family, and
well, this is the bottom line, SIZZLA. You are, and there's a whole lot out there. You are being accused of and being blamed and also vilified as a person who has created this division within Nya Bingi, and that you are to take responsibility. This is what persons are saying. Here you're saying at this point is that my role really as a treasurer was to keep the records, to demand accountability, and that you weren't seeing any of that.
No.
And you're also pointing to different material manifestation points where you noticed, for example, once it was known that Nana Rita wanted to put the land in your name, you're saying that conflict started there. Another conflict started with when you were asked to retrieve the seal, or when you went to get the seal from
after saying to the family that you should investigate why the priests didn't want to keep the seal.
So another conflict started there. Why do you think that caused a conflict? What did you want to investigate?
Person are really dishonest. For me personally, I didn't want to do much of an investigation, but I wanted to get things in control because I'm dealing with the law of the country. And if the land was supposed to be delivered to SIZZLA, Miguel Collins would be the person responsible to pay the tax on the land. So if the land is to be given to Miguel Collins, money is coming in, should be registered in the treasury, and the family should know about it and make the directives out of that money, out of the treasury, to pay the tax for the land, to pay water bills and all those stuff. And that's not happening.
And then the other manifestation point you're saying has to do with asking for accountability, Snoop Dogg and the gift.
The family ask those questions. Where is the money? Not SIZZLA. They asked, where's the money? And the person responds was the Bingi older latter bills and stuff, and that's where it died down.
So as a treasurer, even to this point, you have not seen that money?
No.
Those monies.
No. The only monies I've seen as a treasurer was the money from the banquet. I kept a banquet for the Ancient Council on the premises, and the monies we got from that banquet, we sat there on the floor, and the elders and the family decide what to do with the money, and they share the money amongst themselves right there. And we took money from the bank to pay bills and stuff. That's the only money I can give account for. The other monies was when Marshanti said something about SIZZLA. Junior want to push up SIZZLA as president. Junior knows nothing about the presidency. SIZZLA knew nothing about the presidency. This was all from the Ancient Council, the Ancient themselves, the priests and Daniel. I knew nothing about that. No, Marshanti, I took care of Marshanti concerning her health and doctor bills and prescription, and Marshanti came to my place at Augustown. Marshanti loved SIZZLA, that she gave SIZZLA scarf, regala, and the rod. They got into Marshanti's brain based on the fact that when the eviction notice came, based on what I heard on the radio, because that interview opened a lot of stuff for me, that Mama Katrina had called Mama Rita and said, this eviction notice can't work with Marshanti or else we're going to go public. From there, they moved Marshanti. Marshanti, I heard, was the person who was the owner for the bus given from this rapper. And Marshanti didn't even get the bus. I know. The host got nothing. So this is the way persons be going administrating for the Bingi House, why the nation of Rastafari and Jamaica and the government and all can't see any fruition from the Rastafari family based on misadministration.
Where is the bus?
I don't know. Persons received the bus should very well give account for such.
Now, 2 minutes going up to 8 o'clock here inside of the Africa Forum. It is Running Africa and SIZZLA Kalongi in the house. We're talking about the land issue at Scott's Pass. As you know, and I'm quite sure that this is really no news to a lot of us, that SIZZLA really is being blamed for what's happening at Scott's Pass. And so we decided that it is only right that we give him this platform to respond and to straighten matters out, to clear his name if needs be. And this is what he's doing this morning. We have had many conversations here regarding the issue, the land issue at Scott's Pass. This is an ongoing, fluid situation. What we're hearing from SIZZLA is that as far as the land is concerned now, Nana Rita Stephen Marley has said to him that Nana Rita is ill, and that as soon as she's better, he'll have a conversation with her and get back to him. What we're hearing from Nana Rita's daughter, that's Stephanie Marley, is that Nana Rita has given the directive for the land to be reclaimed, and it has been done. What follows on is that eviction notices have also been given. What's the situation now, SIZZLA, at Scott's Pass?
No, the situation is that the gate is being closed, and the last directive from the Ancient Council and the family in the meeting at Scott's Pass was SIZZLA complete the office, buy a big safe and put the seal in the safe, and the priest will be in the office and we can administrate from there. No one helped me to finish the office, and from there now the land is being taken back. So based on your words just now, if Stephanie Marley is really speaking the truth about the land being taken back, my duty is to get the lawyer, because my lawyer had been the lawyer for the Rastafari from that time with Bongo Blackheart. So I'd have to get to the lawyer based on what Stephanie said, the lawyer, and I will get a QS, legally quantity surveyor, to go there and do the quantity surveying. And if they're going to give us back some money, I think I would just take this money and do something concerning the church. This money, if I should get it back from the quantity surveying for the construction being done, this money should go into the treasury of the Nya Bingi theocracy. So Bob Marley, a reggae artist, gave you the land. SIZZLA, another reggae artist, gave the Tabernacle and the office. So if I should get back this money, I would put this money in the bank account for the Nya Bingi theocracy, because this was already being given by to the Nya Bingi family. So,
and let us be clear that the land was given by Nana Rita Marley and not by Bob Marley.
But that's just how we have it out there as youths, because Rita Marley and Bob Marley is one for us. But just for the record, thank you. So this is where we're at now. So the gate is being closed, and I said to
could you speak in the mic?
The gate being closed.
Ross Mikey, we're not hearing you this time.
Yeah, the gate being closed by heavily armed security guard. It's no joke thing. People for know them thing, you know.
So, in due respect, so this is where we're at. So, by law now, the land is being taken back. What I should do based on directive from families is that get a quantity surveyor, go to the land, make a report to her lawyer, and get it surveyed, retrieve any monies, and personally, as the treasurer, I will put the money in the account for the Nya Bingi theocracy, because that's where it should be.
Well, and this is also in the public domain, because when Rasaibai called in, when I was speaking to Stephanie a few weeks ago, he said a similar thing, right? That if the Nya Bingi family is about to lose the land, then there should be some kind of recompense. There's some kind
of... Well, that's truth. In just and honesty, speak the truth, cast it what it will. Whosoever hide and do the wrong will continue to do the wrong still. But that individual that you've called just now has no say in the construction.
So in other words, you're saying
it's
even though
only
that is true,
Miguel Collins and Mr. Michael Rickard can best administrate now to get this stuff for the Rastafari family. So when I ask Michael Rickard, say, who built the lion and the lioness quarters? That's the family. So the family need to be there concerning those stuff. Who built the kitchen? He said Bonnie Whaler built the kitchen. So that need to be accounted for also. And the other buildings done by Miguel Collins.
What is your understanding of what will happen to the buildings on the land, the tabernacle included?
Honestly, I don't know their directions, but I've done such for the love of Rastafari and the family and the whole entire community of Porus. If it's going to be used in the sense to fulfill the duty, what is being built for, I have no problem. If it's going to be destroyed, I would like to get some finance in return so I can do other administration for the Nya Bingi family.
Well, one of the things that Stephanie Marley said in the interview here, which is also in the public domain, is that they're looking first to farming. You'd have heard that on the interview. Secondly, that a school for Rastafari children and a home, I think.
Excuse me. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. If you're going to take the land from Rastafari family, Rastafari has nothing to do with what you're saying. That's just separate and apart. What I think she should have said is that we should continue the construction and the development of the property by building a school on the premises. Donate something, contribute something to build our school. The farming, you could just...
but that's basically what she... But that's what she said. What do you mean?
What she's saying, or what she's said, is what being discussed in the Nya Bingi meetings over and over and over, and no one comes in helping these constructions to raise from the ground. So it's like you're cheating the Rasta man. You're taking back the land, and then you're going to build schools and those stuff for Rastafari. Who are you going to put on the land after you take them off? You've already insulted the family. What I think that, respectfully, with no disrespect, what the Marley family should have done is help Miguel Collins finish the construction with the buildings on the premises for Rastafari, so they can best have a safe haven to get off the street in this perilous time of the pandemic and administrate best to reach out to Africa. Known to the fact that it was His Majesty's grandson who had helped to lay the foundation, planting the center post, and now presently in this year 2022, the words from the Prime Minister that he needs 1 million persons to come to Ethiopia. So the gate is well opened. His Majesty grandson planted the center post here, and now the Prime Minister of Ethiopia is saying we should come home. This is where we should be focusing and giving all our directives to fulfill the duty of returning to Africa repatriation.
Yes,
we're not there. We are on the excuse me.
Have you SIZZLA, I can see that you're frustrated. Have you spoken to Stephanie any at all, and why not, if not?
No, ma'am. I haven't spoken to Stephanie. I'm answerable to His Majesty and the Ancient Council.
But you have spoken to Stephen?
I've spoken to Stephen because I and Stephen have a good long-standing vibration with Rastafari from that time.
From that time until
Stephen, I'm a brother. I'm a brethren. Me do the cruise with Stephen. Me up a Bob Marley place, a stunt in a Bob Marley yard with bike, a chant Nya Bingi. Me and Prendy in over there play football. We and Prendy, Jackie and the whole way over there, Buju Bantan and the whole way. We're like that as children growing up with Rastafari in the nation. So I have this understanding with Stephen. And Stephen is the big brother. When we in the street, in the ghetto, the first person we are going to ball out pan is Stephen, because we can't find Ziggy. So I find Stephen. And Stephen now, after Bob Marley birthday, Steve is over by the museum. So at an aware, we'll just pop up and give him a visit. So this is the connection we had. Stephen Marley even came to the Nya Bingi Center and the Damian Marley after SIZZLA rebuilt the Tabernacle. Yes.
In terms, so you're hopeful. I can hear that you're still hopeful in terms of what you're expecting from Stephen, right?
Yes.
When he gets back to you. What is your hope?
I hope that Stephen Marley would speak to Mama Rita, and Mama Rita would give the directive to get the land cut off in my name so I can finish the construction of the Tabernacle and the grounds and make it prepare for the redemption of the people.
So you're hopeful for that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, the eviction notices have gone through and people have been removed from the land. By the way, who was responsible for the people who were living from the land in terms of the utility, in terms of just taking care of them generally? I heard you.
The whole family, the family in a whole, they took care of themselves. But personally, SIZZLA, responsible for that. Utility bills, everything. From the pocket of SIZZLA. So
what happened? Why we had that almost 100,000 water bill? What happened?
Normally, the said person who had given the directive for the eviction notice, even on the radio, that same person said that they collected money for the water bill. But I don't know what's wrong with that, because I gave Michael Record the money to pay the bill. This water bill that had caused this whole vibration with eviction notice was being paid by Mr. Michael Record, but the money was given from Miguel Collins.
Ross Mikey, you did call in and you said at the time the water bill was paid. What Stephanie said was at the time is that it was late. It was after the fact. It was paid late.
We have the receipt.
I have a receipt. Yeah.
Come forward. She was asking you that. When you say so, because the microphone is unidirectional, so that's a problem we're having. So...
All right. Wow. For the record, you see that water bill, honestly, Nana Rita, due respect, bill a wall at Scotch Pass Nya Bingi Center. And you see that bill where really run up is the wall where she bill run up the water bill,
You didn't have a leak on the property?
No.
It wasn't a bill that was owed over time. It was a one-off bill?
No, what really happened still, to be honest, as me speak again, the wall, she built a gigantic wall there. And the wall, honestly, from the wall, the water.
Bill increases. Persons been using the water because they got to freshen up themselves, but not to that point where the bill could go to that level.
So, why did you take so long to pay, SIZZLA?
Why did I take so long to pay?
Because she said it was too late. It was after.
It was always like that because persons were responsible to pay the bill because they said they collected money to pay the bill. So why didn't the bill being paid? But then again, Michael Record would have been the person to say to me, SIZZLA, the water bill needs to be paid. But we didn't use the water in that excess to get that amount on the bill. So that is why possibly I wasn't being notified until then when the water bill might be, when they send the water bill to the family.
We're in the last, say, 7 or so minutes, and I just want to ask one question and give you a moment, SIZZLA, to wrap up. But Ras Mikey, the people, because you were living there, I am very concerned about if there were elders on the land, and if there were others living there who really have no place to go, and where are they? Any information on those persons who have
up on roads? I'm talk straight up like some of them up on roadside. Them there now.
Right now at this minute,
Yeah, man.
You know of that, SIZZLA?
I knew not where they are right now, to be exact, but I knew the priest is in South Africa. I sent I sent 7 persons to South Africa based on the bilateral agreement.
I know about that, yes.
I knew about those 7 persons. And
that was you paid for those persons to go into South Africa? Yes, I paid for
everything. Even Bongo Times ticket to South Africa, I paid for that. That is why the elders called SIZZLA the treasurer and called SIZZLA the president. I've been doing all these things solely out of my pocket with no help whatsoever.
So there are 7 ancients who you sent, who repatriated to South Africa.
They got the return tickets, and I told them to go do the duty based on the family had wanted follow up with Bongo Rocky and Data Baby I. And I've sent, they've sent Bongo Time through SIZZLA's assistant. Now I needed to follow up, and the best person to go was the priest. I've done that and I knew about that until eviction notice. I don't know where these elders have left to.
Do you feel a sense of responsibility?
Yes, certainly. Because I'm the treasurer, I'm the president. Everything should be passing through my office. So then now Michael Card would track with them for me when I'm doing duties. I will do so. It's my responsibility. But I can't just come to the public with His Majesty's duty like that. It have to be well constructed, and I need to report to the public because naturally the Bingi family don't really know SIZZLA, and the Bobo family don't know SIZZLA. SIZZLA just an artist, boss out in the world, I do the work. They called SIZZLA and I did the work. So the same thing I did at the Nya Bingi Center, I went to Bobo Hill and I did the same thing. Same process with the Tabernacle, being raised to the foundation based upon natural elements of nature. And I constructed the Tabernacle for the Bobo Shanty out my pocket, same way with other persons.
Have you also done this on land that doesn't belong to the Bobo Shanty?
I did it on the same land belonging to the Bobo Shanty.
No, it's owned by them?
No. They're in the land based upon the law, living there. And such, because Rastafari had always have a little problem to get the monies to do stuff and stuff. So,
what do you think about this problem of land ownership and Rastafari? And do you and what do you think is the responsibility of people like yourself to continue to pressure government, especially within the Coral Gardens context, to ensure that land is made available in the right and legal way to Rastafari and Jamaica?
It should be, but we have for ourselves, Rastafari is a government, no secondary government outside the continent of Africa. We need to pool our resources together, and we are so much with wealth now. We need to get ourselves together as Rastafari, whether you are being appointed to an office or not, as long as you're saying Rastafari, because you got other religions doing stuff, they're uniting and building their stuff. So we need to do the same for His Majesty.
Do you think that Scots Pass, for example, that a delegation or a suggestion should be made to the Marley family?
There's no problem with Scots Pass other than...
No, to purchase the land.
No, the land was being given by Mrs. Marley herself as some sort of kindness. So all needed to be done is just for her to hand over the land. But seemingly based upon what's happening now, there wasn't anyone with that realms of responsibility to take the land, because I figure why Mrs. Marley didn't give the land. She didn't want to give the land to somebody in their name that would run off with the land. So known to the fact SIZZLA came and built on the land, SIZZLA can't go nowhere again. So I think the best person is to do it with SIZZLA. SIZZLA been doing all this stuff. So
is Nya Bingi registered in Jamaica?
Should not. And if it's been registered, not with the sense of my knowledge, it shouldn't be. It would be contrary to the fact of the duty. No secondary government. So this is where it's at. There is no problem with the Nya Bingi Scots Pass grounds concerning development because I've already did that. There should just be a patience for Mrs. Marley to hand over the land. So the family, I told the family what Mrs. Marley said. It should be the SIZZLA's duty to follow up by right and the family to pressure SIZZLA to get it done. Exactly. But we've been waiting on Mrs. Marley. We can't pressure her because she was the one who stated such matter and told her secretary to put it in the book.
Sis, I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm just going to give you 3 or so minutes to say your final words. Let me take a quick break.
When I need to order concrete for my big or small jobs, I order only solid concrete. Yes, solid concrete mix for my money. The time by Solid Concrete Mix is
16 now, after 8 o'clock. You're inside of the Africa Forum. It is Running African, and in the final few minutes of this discussion with SIZZLA Kalongi and Ras Mikey on the land situation, the land controversy, contentious issue unfolding at Scots Pass. SIZZLA, is there anything else that you would want the family to know that we might not have covered here, or anything you want to underscore or reiterate?
What I would like the family to know that we should answer to the call of the Prime Minister for the 1 million persons to go to Ethiopia this Sunday. Ethiopia Christmas, the Melkam Gena. So we need to follow up with these matters. We can't, because our present matter at hand concerning the land issue and people talking about the seal should deter us from the duty of the Nya Bingi to return all black man, woman and child to Africa. Repatriation. The gate is open, so we need to agitate for repatriation. And we should find the Marley family and see what's really happening. See if we can still have this land, because we need this piece of land to have a safe haven for the Rastafari family to get off the street to chant. It's really insulting. In this time, they can't chant and they'll be left out in the open. So then, the Nya Bingi family had given me a tabernacle at 40 August Town. And it's in good condition, and it's open, accessible to just about anyone.
Yeah, I've been there.
Naturally.
So I don't know.
So I'm here to clear...
So you're saying that in the meantime, where the different events would occur, the events that would happen at Scots Pass, you're saying that you're opening the Nya Bingi Tabernacle in Augustown for those events?
Yes, it was never been closed. It was given by the Nya Bingi family. They came there and chanted. And for the record again, that is where they got the idea of the Millennium Council. Bongo Daniel took SIZZLA, drove over the whole entire highland of Jamaica. Me go in some crevices, corner, mountain, rock, to find some Rasta elders from that time. And these elders, they came and they had the Nya Bingi at Augustown. It was in the same process of the millennium for Ethiopia. Persons came there and saw elders and see that the elders are here and it is the Haitian Council now, and SIZZLA got the going and they're doing their stuff, and they tried to form a coup to usurp the government of the Nya Bingi theocracy to form the Millennium Council again, just to get bad administration. Because when you form these other councils, these councils and their administrators take stuff from people of the world, but don't hand it over to the Nya Bingi theocracy. That is the trick, to represent with other name and not the name of the Nya Bingi theocracy. And known to the fact that SIZZLA is a treasurer, he is a public figure. Anything with SIZZLA will go public concerning Rastafari and the nation. Persons having problems with that again.
Well, we're going to have a conversation, I think, with the Nya Bingi, with the Millennium Council to see what are the issues there, because you've mentioned the Millennium Council a few times, and I think it's only right that we have them respond.
Yes.
Just before you go, because I know you've been doing some work in Augustown, and I want to thank you for coming in, for being here so early. But don't want you to leave without telling us about the work you're doing in Augustown, especially with the youth. What's happening in Augustown?
The work in Augustown is a follow-up from the Nya Bingi theocracy reign taking my premises, preparing it for the redemption. And it's a follow-up from all they say mandate, but it's not mandate. We got the Zion date, where Rastafari family must return to Africa, and the 5-point agenda from Bobo Hill. So it's the duty of all the mansions of Rastafari. I've made my place secure and well kept, accommodative for process of Nya Bingi Festival. Just about anything, as you've heard the Prime Minister said in the stadium, that SIZZLA's home is now a community center. Because they had done their investigation and knew very well that it is in that like doing so for Rastafari. Yes. So we've constructed the museum. It's not finished, to be quiet, and we're setting up like a Kalongi cafe where we can serve guests coming there, and the premises is being upgraded, well kept and altered just for the purpose of repatriation or just about any public activity. We're going
to invite ourselves and come have a look at the work that you're doing.
No problem.
Thank you so much, SIZZLA. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much, Ras Mikey. And I know that this discussion will continue outside of this space. What would you want to say to persons who are now going to engage in further discussions?
That SIZZLA is the person to help in keeping the family together. SIZZLA is the person with the love and the joy for Rastafari. SIZZLA is the person that said no Bingi family can be separated. Only way the Bingi family is being separated is if these persons are not abiding by the principles and the guidelines of the Nya Bingi theocracy. So when you're saying that Bingi house split, the Bingi house can't split. Bond split, bond separation. The Bingi house we are well united. The fact of the matter is that persons get caught being exposed are trying to shift attention from themselves to SIZZLA. But not a problem. I'm here to clear the way. So the final directive from the elders, the ancient council in the Tabernacle, from the priest before he died, is that SIZZLA, please to finish the office and buy a big safe, put in the office, and you can put the seal inside the safe and other important documents for Rastafari on the premises, the headquarters, Scott's Pass, Nya Bingi Center. That is why I'm adamant about getting that land for Rasta.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, SIZZLA Kalongi. Thank you so much, Ras Mikey. Well, there you have it. And as you listen to or re-listen to the first interview with Stephanie Marley and listen to this interview with SIZZLA Kalongi, there are many agreements in what we are hearing from both. And so that the issue is really a family issue that should be able to be sorted because of this level of agreement. And mediation, I think, is the right way to go. I hear lawyers being talked about again, and I hear persons digging in their heels. But if we step back from this a bit and have a proper mediation, I am sure that this is something that can be worked out easily. This is my personal feeling on this. Thank you once again, SIZZLA Kalongi.